What's up guys, FlamingVictini here, and I'm back for my week 3 SPL game. I wasn't able to upload anything last week because I was busy with my finals, midterms, lots of exams that last week. And I also didn't think my week 2 game was worthwhile uploading because I had no way to win from turn 0. If you didn't know, I played against TDK and he stalled me. I did not expect stall from him at all, partly because we tried to match up on purpose. I just didn't think he would stall me, but he stalled me and I had nothing to break stall, so I just lost completely. There was nothing I could do to break his stall team, so yeah, I think that game just was not worth uploading just because there was simply nothing I could do. Even if I had a slimmer of a chance, I think it would have been worthwhile to analyze that, but there was really just nothing to do. Anyway, so we're going to move on to my week 3 game. It's going to be up against ABR. ABR ABR brought rain, and I kid you not, when I saw he brought Rain, I got like really like worried because my matchup versus Rain is not the best. If Rain is looking to play against a certain type of team, it's this type of team I have where my only water resist is a Keldeo and everything else is just going to get completely smashed by Rain boosted attacks. So I need to play this game very smartly and maybe even perfectly just because it's a difficult matchup. The key advantage I have with myself is my Gengar. I think is a key advantage. He doesn't know if I'm Choice Scarf or not, and if I am Choice Scarf, I can outrun Kingdra and Rain, so I can play a role into the game. I am actually substitute Ghostium Gengar. So substitute can allow me to stall rain turns, get a free sub on a switch as he sacks, kill something, and then kill another thing, and then force him to only be limited in what he can revenge kill me with. The other advantage I have is even though he has 2 rain sweepers, my Keldeo should be able to take out 1 if I play it smartly, at the worst. So that's really it's a difficult game. I also know my Scizor has the bulk to take certain rain boosted attacks, and if I can waste his rain turns enough, I can force him to play in certain ways that can allow my Dugtrio or my Gengar to remove one of his rain sweepers on a key turn, Gengar to take advantage of how he has to play with rain and to get multiple kills and put him in a position where he can't win. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into the game. So I decided to lead with my Tapu Koko. The reason I do so is because without Rain up, his Swift Swim Sweepers do not threaten me. If he leads with Ferrothorn, I do have Taunt to prevent the hazards, and I can U-turn into my own Landorus. So I can set up my Stealth Rocks and start to pressure him. I need my Stealth Rocks to chip the Rain Sweepers, to chip Pelipper, and it's just, I need my rocks up if I need a chance at this game. And also, the only thing that really threatens me, maybe Tapu Lele, or there's Landorus if it's potentially Scarf. I also actually can't really touch Landorus, but because I'm using a stall breaking set, Thunderbolt, Nature's Madness, Taunt, and U-turn. Excuse me, but I did think he might want to just lead with Pelipper just because Rain, he sees my team, he knows Rain can start doing some damage, so he wants to get going that right away. So I do lead off with my Koko as he leads off with his Pelipper. Ferrothorn is very obvious here. Most people would not go to Landorus, so I'm just going to Nature's Madness. This damage is important for Gengar to make sure I can kill it later in the game. I'm just going to Taunt to prevent the hazards from going up, and he shows Stealth Rock, so this pretty much confirms that his Landorus is Choice Scarf, and because of his stall matchup, I'm thinking the Lele might be some stall breaking set. It could be like Calm Mind Psychium or something like that, but there's also a chance it could be Shed Shell just because Dugtrio stall is basically the norm right now. So I want to go for the U-turn. I know this is going to give me switch initiative no matter what he does. I don't really mind the chip from Iron Barbs, and in fact, neutering his healing from leftovers might actually make a difference with the Gengar rolls later in the game. And he ends up switching out to his Landorus. I don't take any recoil or anything, so I'm like very sure that this is Choice Scarf Landorus. I just go into my own so I can set up my rocks. And he uses HP Ice. I actually kind of don't like HP Ice. I feel like giving me rocks without killing me, I feel like letting me set up rocks right there and locking his own Lando into HP Ice just simply was not the play. I get that it puts a lot more pressure on my team in regards to facing off the Landorus, but I think he could have accomplished a lot more just by going to a Rain Sweeper. Yeah, just by going to a rain, if he went to his Kingdra, I'd be really in a tough position if he did that. So I think this play, Hidden Power Ice on his end, was a poor play. It wasn't really like a bad play, and it's not like one that loses him the game. But I think he could have put himself into a better position where he pretty much has a really high chance of winning. But I needed those rocks up, and I just got him up, and he decided to HPI, so that works out perfectly for me. Now here I think the only play in the game that if I had to change, I would change it. It's just, I go to my Keldeo, I'm playing safe. I know that Keldeo in Rain can pretty much take on anything he wants, at least 1v1, but I need my Keldeo healthy. I also know that if he stays in with his, the reason I switched out, because I'm worried if he just HP Ices again and my Lando goes down, I have no more ground immune, so I'm kind of worried about that. But he also knows that if he HP Ices and Keldeo just comes in, he's barely going to get any chip that he needs. It's just going to be a tiny bit of damage, and I can get a kill, I can get 2 kills, and that might be the difference in the game. So I feel like I should have predicted him to switch U-turn, and maybe even Earthquakes, just because if I expect him to bring in a Swift Swim Sweeper. Now, I definitely did not expect him to go Kabutops. I thought if anything he'd go Kingdra, on the off chance that I did stay in EQ or something like that. I think he did just predict my Keldeo to want to come in and go Kabutops, because it seems like his Kabutops is a breaker set, as we see right here, that Z power activates. I got really scared when I saw that. Then he showed the Continental Crush, and it did 50%, so I was like, okay, at least I'm not getting O-code. So I just Scald. That crit did not matter because it's rain boosted Scald, and he goes into his Kingdra. But anyway, I think like he said, I think he was trying to get his Kabutops to weaken my Keldeo so his Kingdra could sweep. I think he was going for a Kingdra sweep, especially with Doug. I just have better answers to Kabutops than I do for Kingdra. But I think if I just EQ'd, that might have made this game way easier without a little bit of hacks. As you see right here, he goes for the Surf. I get a roll, and I'm able to get a crit Secret Sword right here. Now, that really sucks for ABR. I do have a bit of bulk on this Keldeo. It is a taunt, somewhat bulky Keldeo, so it's not entirely, the rules were not entirely unreasonable, but they were definitely favoring ABR. At the same time, I feel like ABR just had no reason to risk this. His Kingdra is so scary. I feel like I mean, I can understand it, because he really doesn't, the only better thing he can do is go Lando. But at the same time, I feel like he just probably could have found a way to not risk this. That's just how I feel like, because if he can just kill this Keldeo guaranteed without taking damage, he just puts his Kingdra in an insane position to just roll through the rest of my team. That being said, I definitely did get the lucky end of the stick with the Continental Crush roll and the Surf roll. If he was able to get a higher roll with one of these and knock out my Keldeo, his Kingdra would have been an 88, but it still not would have been completely over, because I would have been able to go to my Scizor, I would have been able to Mega live the Surf and U-turn, and if he stays in, then my Dugtrio can come in and knock it out. If he switches out, which is the most likely outcome, then my Gengar can really start going in, and because he loses his Rain, he's also forced to send it out his Pelipper, and then if he wants to preserve his Rain, he runs the risk, then I can substitute, I can stall Rain, I can also catch him on a switch and then knock out. So if, for example, if he chooses, let's say I go into my Scizor, he goes to Ferrothorn, I U-turn, and I knock out the Ferrothorn with my Gengar. He goes to his Pelipper and chooses that he wants to save it or something. He chooses to U-turn, he wants to Scald. I can just keep subbing, wasting his Scalds. I can at least waste 4 turns, and then I can knock him out with a Z Ghost move and limit his moves. If he wants to keep Scalding, he keeps risking every single turn that I click and attack that turn that'll kill the Pelipper and remove his Rain, and then at that point all I need to do is, it's not impossibly difficult to win. Not that it's the most straightforward thing, but it's certainly possible. So I think this game wasn't an auto loss if I didn't get this roll and that crit, but it definitely helps. The crit especially is helpful for me because it means his Kingdra dies after switching into Rock, so the only way he can live is by defogging, so that really limits what he can do. I just throw off a Scald, end up burning the Ferrothorn. That's not going to be too important, but I guess he's trying to play around his Keldeo. He goes to his Landorus here, trying to pivot around to get this in so he can knock out my Keld. As I do just go for the safe Secret Sword, no reason not to. Get another crit. This one didn't really matter. Really, it was the rolls on the Keldeo plus the crit on Kingdra that mattered. But again, I feel like he could have played it differently. I also feel like I could have made a different play with that Lando, and that could have just completely avoided the situation altogether. So I feel like both of us are at fault at some point here of not playing this as perfectly as we could. But he does U-turn, just knock out my Kel. The reason I don't switch out to anything is because if I go Lando, then his Pelipper is able to defog, and that's obviously not what I want. Now, I decided to go Gengar right here. I could go Tapu Koko and threaten him out with the T-Bolt, but I feel like it gives him the option to go to Landorus, and then I have to play around U-turn or EQ, because if he EQs on my switch to Lando, then that's good because I can get the momentum. But then it's tricky because my goal really is to prevent the defog from Pelipper. I also, if he has to be max Spit F Pelipper, and I have to get a really low roll for a Z Shadow Ball to not kill this Pelipper, and he just has no switch-ins, plus he likely does not expect this, and Pelipper could probably live a Spec Shadow Ball, so I decided to just go to Gengar, click the Never-Ending Nightmare, and it ends up taking him out, and he forfeits because at that point his Kingdra is dead, his Tapu Lele and his Ferrothorn will die to Gengar, his Lando is not really in a position where he can win, so the game is pretty much over, and he forfeits. So yeah, I think this game, definitely I got some luck, which at least I get, finally at least I get some luck, but yeah, I do acknowledge that I got a little bit lucky, but I also think that neither of us played it perfectly. I think I could have played differently with my Lando, and I think he could have played his Rain Sweeper plus Lando sequence differently. Maybe not HP Ice me, maybe not go, like, risk certain sweepers and stuff like that the way he did. Granted, it was highly improbable, and he didn't have a ton of options against a Keldeo and Rain, but yeah, the game, that's how it is, that's just how the game is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something about this game. I'll be uploading some more games, other people's games from this week as well, so look out for that, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.